Very good morning. Jai Shri Krishna Guru. Thank you for joining Sri Guru Charitra Parayan. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. So let us begin with a lovely chapter today. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha, Om Shri Saraswataya Namaha, Om Shri Guru Dattatreya Namaha, Om Shri Mahalakshmi Namaha, Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Guru Charitra Parayan. So in the last episode or the last satsang, we finished chapter 4, in which the beautiful Datta avatar, the incarnation of most profound and the most beautiful Dattatreya was mentioned. And we also understood what is the meaning of Atri and Anusuya. How do you attain God realization? If you go listen to the satsang once more, you will understand what is being expounded is about the adhyatmic, which is the spiritual truth about that story. So we can also have Dattatreya being born to us by our purification. When our heart and mind and surrendered unto the lotus feet of the Guru is completed, the divine manifests within us. And that is why how Anusuya, mother of Lord Dattatreya, was given the highest purity. She was a chaste woman. It was a description of how pure and chaste you have to become. And Atri Muni, who is the father of Lord Dattatreya, has transcended the Triguna, all the three gunas. So he is Trigunatmak, and that is why we also call Lord Dattatreya as Avaduta. He is eternally free being, and also he is Trigunatmak. Trigunatmak Traimurti. What does it mean? Trigunatmak means one who has transcended the three gunas, and Traimurti, he is the Trinity, the manifestation of Brahma, Vishnu and Mahesh. He has the very essence of all the three divinities within him. And please know that he is the supreme master. He is the Guru of all Gurus. He is beyond even the Sadguru. So this is what we learn. Please go listen to it once again. You will learn a lot from that beautiful chapter. So today we'll begin of one more great manifestation or incarnation of Lord Dattatreya in the form of Sripada Sri Vallabha. Incarnation of Sripada Sri Vallabha, chapter 5, Guru Charitra. This chapter describes the reincarnation of Sri Dattatreya in the Kali Yuga as Sripada Sri Vallabha in Peethapuram as a son to Sumata. Peethapuram is somewhere near, I think if I'm correct, it is somewhere near Kakinada. It is in, okay, now because of the the split between Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, I don't know whether it is coming in Andhra Pradesh or whether it is in Telangana, whether it comes under Telangana, I don't know. So I'm very sorry about my geography. You can please go look it up. But this place comes somewhere near Kakinada. Sripad Sri Vallabha sets out on his divine mission at a very early age, after curing his lame and blind brothers and blessing the household with endless prosperity. Siddha Yogi again referred to the curse of Durvasa Rishi on Lord Vishnu. Due to this curse, Lord Vishnu had reincarnated himself several times. Each of the incarnations subdued evil, re-established dharma, destroyed the wicked people, and helped and protected the good and the righteous people. How beautiful it is. Again, the only purpose, the sole purpose why the divine Lord manifests or incarnates is simply to establish dharma and to protect the pious and the devoted, his devotees and the disciples, from the evil or demonic people, the wicked people in this world who have strayed and gone on the path of dharma. And also, most important, to establish the dharma and guide the people on the path of spiritual weal. Like the incarnations of Vishnu in the earlier yugas, in Kali Yuga, Lord Dattatreya too had to incarnate to promote righteousness, to dispel spiritual ignorance which had overtaken the world due to the influence of Kali. This is extremely important. What is he saying here? See, especially in the Kali Yuga, the spiritual wheel or the spiritual upliftment is not happening, because most of the people, in due to the influence of the Kali and the Kali Yuga, rather the Kali Purusha, have gone astray from their path of righteousness, God fearing life. They don't no more fear God. Oh, forget about God fearing. They don't even have God in their life. So where is the question of spirituality? It doesn't exist at all. What are they given into? Materialistic existence, running after sensual pleasures. Most importantly, two important weapons: sex and your palate. That's you're given into your sex and palate. So that is the weapon which the Kali Purusha uses. We already studied about that. And what is that we are running after? Lust and greed. My God, it's very dangerous. Recently, I was reading a very beautiful chapter from Vaivarta Purana, and in that, what is mentioned about Kali Yuga? They say, fighter some Kali Yuga. Why is it called fightersome? Because we are after each other's throat. We are fighting for everything. There is no goodness, there is no love, there is no harmony, there is no peace. Everybody is running after fulfilling their material worldly desires. And second, nobody is nice to another being. They are not kind. Everybody is ruthless. They don't live the moral values anymore. It doesn't matter to them. I know somebody in this world who had trusted a person in giving they had a farmland, so they lease it out. So the person who had trusted his friend and given the farmland for leasing it out and making sure that the money is equally divided, had trusted this person. But what happens even after 5 years? Just because the friend did not ask about the money, it is completely and conveniently forgotten. And after a reminder, then they realize, oh, okay, I need to pay this person, and then they try to make it for it. But they don't have the goodness to live a righteous path. So why do we have such mean nature? It is something that you need to ask. Please don't covet something that is not yours. Don't try to possess what is not yours. Why are you running after things? Why are you becoming greedy? There is no need. The most important thing that you have to attain is to live in dispassion and detachment and learn to discriminate. Discrimination is nothing but to see God in everybody. And that is when we'll be very truth, which means contented. We will not have this ill thoughts, ill will, or trying to become jealous, avarice, envy, greed, and we're trying to take somebody else's property or try to take someone else's possession. And I know someone very closely related, around a distant relative. And in that family, this is a story between a brother and a sister. And this sister what she has done is, the brother had this land, and without even informing him, she has conveniently gone and constructed a house on the land which does not belong to her. What does it tell of you? See, all this means we are so greedy. We want to take or encroach something that is not ours, rightfully ours. And then the brother, out of goodness, did not go and fight for it. He said, I let it be, because if I go to the court, it will be very shameful for my sister. And if tomorrow something goes wrong, her family will suffer. So I don't want to do that. But see, there is two aspects to look at it. One is, we can say this is karma. We are only going through all those actions based on our past karma. So as part of the prarabdha karma, that event is supposed to happen. But if you were living the aspect of goodness, righteousness, don't you think you could have averted that karma? Yes, you are not going to go and do something that is illegal. That is something going to be on the path of adharma. You're never going to go do that. And that is the way to put an end to the karma itself. But what happened? No, that action has to be performed. And now, not only did the sister go and build that house, she actually abused that brother. And she called him a lot of names. And now what happened? We don't even know that whether that was all the karma that has to be done, or because of this issue that happened, the fight that happened, additional karma got created. So why are we extending and giving, sanctioning ourselves many more lives? So doesn't the cycle repeat again? So which means again in the next or some other life of them, the reversal, the role reversal will happen. So there is no end to that karma. The birth of cycle, the birth of death and rebirth, the cycle of birth and death is sanctioned by our own actions. So why are we not being careful? Why cannot we just live a life filled with contentment? See, God bestows upon everybody that which is necessary to them. Okay, and he grants exactly that much which is required for you to sustain your life, whatever that is. But when you go beyond that and run after your desires, you're not only putting yourself in trouble, but you're putting everybody else associated with you. So please don't do that. And in this chapter, Sripada Sri Vallabha is going to talk about the purpose of his incarnation. Why does he manifest as a guru? That is what we are going to learn. And how do you live a spiritual life, which is extremely important to understand and practice, though doing all your actions, but yet living a righteous life, God pleasing life, so that you can attain God realization. So each of the incarnation subdued evil. What is this doing? Subduing evil. How does the evil get subdued? When they come and teach, expound some of the beautiful lessons of what it is to being divine, how to be good, how to overcome our tendencies, our inherent nature. That is what the gurus do. They remove all our karmas. They help us overcome our tendencies. They and reduce the impact of what is that we have performed in many lives, and expiate in this life of ours, and make sure that we go towards the path of God realization. That is the only way to overcome all our sins. So God given opportunity that we have a great guru, and when you have such a divine master in your life, don't waste your time, because time is precious. Time is the very sense of Lord Shri Krishna himself. So don't waste time and go on that path. You have to journey. Please understand, there is nothing that you're going to get from this material world. The more you run into it, the more you're going to get entangled, and you're going to lost in that. See, either you can rise above or you can fall down. The choice rests in your hand alone. You can live like Lord Shri Krishna, living in that entire muck, like the lotus leaf, which is untouched by the water. And he was the perfect being who performed all the duties. He never said, I'm not going to do my duty. He never took sannyasa, but he's the knowledge incarnate himself. So you can live like that. That is why these stories have been imparted to you. And you have the grace of the guru. And even after the grace is being there, you're going to be running after lust and greed. Then there is no point. You're digging your own grave. And let me assure you this much. Like the incarnations of Vishnu in the earlier Kali Yugas, Lord Dattatreya too had to incarnate to promote righteousness, to dispel spiritual ignorance. What is spiritual ignorance? Spiritual ignorance is to understand that I am not this body. I am that divine being. I am that Parabrahman. I don't have to get attached to the body. That is the most important thing. You know what? The one obstacle on the path of spirituality is your identity with this body. See, the word spirituality itself means to understand that you are the spirit and not the body. It talks about who is the spirit, who are you. That is what spirituality teaches. Then it also teaches how to be in this world and yet realize your spiritual will and be detached and just do your duties. Being born of that body, and also to expiate all your karmas, and performing nishkam karma, which is selfless action, so that you do not accrue any karma at all, and you're only going to be lost in the divine. You're going to do all your activities, but by being lost in the divine, and then now karma can never touch you, because you're only performing selfless action. To dispel spiritual ignorance which had overtaken the world due to the influence of Kali, and to light the lamp of wisdom among people, Lord Dattatreya was born as Sripada Sri Vallabha. The Siddha Yogi narrated about his avatar to Namdarak. There is a place called Peethapuram on the eastern coast of southern India. There lived a pious Brahmin couple in this place. The husband's name was Appala Raju, and the wife's name was Sumata. While managing the household on one hand, Sumata used to devotedly assist her husband in religious rituals. On the other, she was very hospitable and used to serve guests with great veneration. How should a wife be? You know what? Why is all these lesson given? These are characters. See, all this is only teaching the adhyatmic truth. It is something that you have to understand. What is it meaning here? See, the wife's name was Sumata. While managing the household on one hand, Sumata used to devotedly assist her husband in religious rituals. See, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa ji is very beautifully taught in the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. In that he says, your wife or your husband have to equally support on the path of your spiritual wheel. Otherwise, there is no point. Otherwise, you will become a crass human being. You will give in to your carnal desires and get lost in the material worldly existence. So, whoever you are getting married to or whatever the life that you have, both of you have to live a God-pleasing life, supporting each other's spiritual wheel. So here she devotedly assists her husband in religious rituals, and on the other, she was also very hospitable and used to serve guests with great veneration. Actually, this reminds me of a very funny incident, and I'm just going to tell. It's not demeaning, but the problem is in the Kali Yuga, we have lost our moral values. See, as per our Sanskriti, that is our culture and values, as per our dharma, we believe whenever a guest comes, visits your home, it is believed that they are God alone. Atiti Daivo Bhava. And once my Guruji and myself, we had visited someone. And over there, so there was this family and they were serving us, okay? So see, I can understand, they are ignorant being. But this whole thing about hospitable is not understood. You first serve your guests and only then serve your family people. And you know what did they do? In love of their own family members, whatever was brought in, like for the lunch, they served first to their family members and then to us. And more, without even asking whether you need a little more, whether would you like to lead. And they went on serving their own family. Oh, you like this, you should eat this. And they didn't care about my Guruji and me. So this shows about their ignorance. Today we don't understand what it is to be hospitable. You don't treat your guests, and that too, my Guruji is the Lord Almighty. Can you imagine? Forget about me. I'm not saying it's me, but I'm talking about when a great master is there, when the divine Lord Almighty is there, you don't even care to do that. So this is the kind of culture and value they have. They're only lost in their family members. Oh, you like this, you should eat, you like that. Then why have you even invited the guests? So this was a shocker to me. And for me, then my Guruji says, look, people are ignorant. You cannot hold anybody responsible because they don't know that. So yes, the reason I'm saying is we have to follow this dharma very importantly. Whenever the Atithi comes, it is most important. First, you offer your guests. You serve them like they are God, no matter who it is, whether it is a foe, your friend, your enemy, anyone who visits your place, you need to treat them like God Almighty. That is what our dharma teaches us. And first you have to serve them. After finishing everything, then only you have to eat in the end. And please stand there and ask what do they need. Can you offer any more? It is extremely important. Atiti Daivo Bhava. Please remember, many of the great saints and sages this is one of the way they test to see where do the people stand. Do they care about serving the Atithi, or they are only bothered about their own family, attached to their children, husband, every other people, and they don't care about the Atithi who's come there. Even though God is visiting your home, you will disregard him. So this is another way of the great gurus to test you. Please remember this, okay? On one Amavasya, there was a Shraddha ceremony in the house. All the food preparations were ready, but the priest had still to take the sacramental food. At this juncture, a sannyasi came near the back door and asked for food. How to offer food to this strange guest before the priests were fed was a dilemma for Sumata. Can you believe this is the way the great divine masters want to test? How much is your devotion and what do you do in such a point? at such a point. On Shraddha days, to feed anyone before the priest who symbolize and represent the departed souls, the Devtas, are fed is prohibited. So it's a belief. See, these are the beliefs from our scriptures which we follow. But again, that following has to be understood in the right manner. See, all these Veda Shastras are only taught by the scholars who themselves don't understand it. Like I keep saying this, the Vedas can only be explained by the Lord Almighty and not anybody. So anybody who's below that and who has just learned from the scholarly institutions or from some other, the Vedic, the Vedic gurus, then they are not qualified enough to even understand. But we have certain principles to be followed, and here at this juncture it was mentioned that the priests were supposed to be fed. Shraddha ceremonies, you're offering to your forefathers who have dead and gone. So you're performing a ceremony. It is like when you feed the priest, it is believed that your forefathers, their soul attains that peace or they get release. That is what is being mentioned. And that is the purpose. So I don't know in deep aspect of this subject, so I'm not someone who's qualified to explain in detail, but yes, this is the basic understanding that I have, which I have expounded. But if you need more clarification, you can send a question. I will be able to get back to you in detail. So on Shraddha days, to feed anyone before the priest who symbolize and represent the departed souls, the Pitridevtas, are fed is prohibited. If anyone else is fed, it is supposed to nullify the merit and the purpose of the Shraddha ceremony. In her dilemma, Sumata looked with embarrassment at the face of the sannyasi. She instantaneously felt that the guest was no ordinary being. Has God himself come to test me, she felt. She forgot everything as to what was right and what was wrong, and she rushed to serve him food. Lo, the mendicant was Guru Dattatreya himself. Dattatreya was extremely pleased with Sumata for her goodness of heart. What is he pleased with? Her goodness of heart. See, this is what is missing today within us. We don't care about people. We don't value anybody. We don't respect. We talk very demeaning of others. See, most important is what? Goodness of heart. What does spirituality teaches us? Spirituality teaches us how to see God in everybody, how to love everybody, how to serve everyone in this world. When you serve everyone, you're serving the divine Lord Almighty. That is when the Lord is pleased with you and you attain that realization. So it's extremely important. And who is the doorway to God? The Guru is the doorway to God. So how is the Guru pleased? The Guru is pleased when you live all his teachings, when he sees his disciple and devotees evolve on the path of dharma, when he sees them doing their purpose, when he sees them living every lesson that he has taught. So please make your Guru be very pleased with you. And that way the gods are pleased. And then you attain, the Dattatreya is born to you. You become that Anusuya, you become that Atreya Muni yourself. And Lord Dattatreya is born to you. What does that mean? God realization happens. You realize that God, and anything that you wish, even just a thought, you can create that in your own life. That is the power you will hold. But you have to be absolute, pure, chaste. I think the qualities were very beautifully described. Go listen to this chapter on the incarnation of Lord Dattatreya, the birth of Lord Dattatreya. And in that you have to understand what are the profound truth about it. How to be pure. Purity is extremely important. Even, again, I keep giving this example with my Krishna Guruji teaches. He says, you might be the bottle of Ganga, but one drop of potassium cyanide turns that entire bottle of Ganga water into poison. So likewise, one wrong action, one bad thought, you cannot be pure, you cannot attain God realization. So you have to be the perfect being. For that you have to strive hard, you have to put your effort, you have to do your sadhana and continuously practice to living these lessons. See, these are explained in a beautiful story format, like Leelas we see. They're all beautiful plays, but they have profound meaning. But if we don't live those lessons, then how is it going to help us to attain the spiritual wheel? How are you going to understand what it means to live these lessons? So please become good. See, goodness is the word which is coming here, constantly being repeated. Lo, the mendicant was Guru Dattatreya himself. Dattatreya was extremely pleased with Sumata for her goodness of heart and said, Mother, I am very much pleased with you. Ask for whatever boon you may wish. At this, Sumata was overjoyed. In that ecstasy, she spoke out, Maharaj, let the word Mother, Amma, as you addressed me, now become true and real. That is, may you be born to me. That is all what I beseech you. The Lord said, So be it, and instantly disappeared. This is how the divine beings work. But see, this is again a Leela. You know why? Because they want to come and take birth in the pious womb. Again, if you go back to Anusuya, who was she? Who was Atri Muni? They are very pious beings. So, being pious, they were able to have the Lord Dattatreya born to them. So these divine beings only will want to take birth in such a in the pious family or to the pious souls. So they come and test. So Sumata stood her test by Lord Dattatreya. So he blessed her that I will be born to you as your son. And of course, in course of time, Sumata became a mother and Sripada Sri Vallabha, the incarnation of Lord Dattatreya, was born to her as her son. In truth, it was not her birth in the normal sense. It was the manifestation of the Lord as a child in the house. Please remember, the divine beings are not born as a body. They manifest. Manifest means they will just manifest themselves into a particular body, particular room, or in a particular form. They don't take birth like you and me. They are not born as this body through a womb. They only manifest. There is a huge difference between being born as this body and manifesting. So the divine beings only manifest. So in course of time, Sumata became a mother and Shripad Sri Vallabha, the incarnation of Lord Dattatreya, was born to her as her son. In truth, it was not a birth in the normal sense. It was the manifestation of Lord as a child in the house. How blessed is the mother that bore the Lord as her child. The child was named Shripad, as advised by the priests of the place. As the child's feet bore all the auspicious and holy marks and signs like the conch, chakra, etc. You know who has these holy marks on the feet? The conch, the chakra, the lotus, the fish, the bow and arrow. Who does have? Lord Shri Krishna. And who do you think Lord Dattatreya is? He's the essence, Lord Dattatreya is none other than Lord Shri Krishna himself. It is one of his forms. So you can find all these marks in Lord Dattatreya himself. He is none other than Shri Krishna. So that is why Lord Shri Krishna says that I am the very essence of the Guru, the great master, because he is the knowledge himself. And please note that Lord Dattatreya is a supreme master. He is the Guru of all Gurus. See, they say, right, you become a Guru, then you become a Sadguru. And Dattatreya is beyond the Sadguru. He is the supreme master. He is Jagat Guru. That's why we say Krishnam Vande Jagat Gurum. Sripada's thread ceremony, Upanayana Samskara, was performed at the age of 7. Just as the initiation ceremony commenced, Sripada shone like Jnana Bhaskara, son of wisdom, and started reciting Vedic mantras with great mastery. All the Pandits and scholars were dazed at Sripada's self-manifested knowledge and wisdom and bowed down to him. Please remember, these great beings are the knowledge incarnate. So what can any scholar or Pandit can teach him? They cannot. On the contrary, they are all here to learn from this great divine being. When Sripada attained marriageable age and his parents had found a suitable match for him, they told him about it. Sripada smilingly said, Renunciation, Vairagya, alone is my companion in life, and every woman in this world is none else but my mother. These great beings are not here to become bound in the material worldly existence. They have a purpose. What was the purpose mentioned? To establish dharma, to dispel the spiritual ignorance, and to initiate those who want to evolve on the path of spirituality. They come here with a very clear purpose. They are not going to be attached in getting married, trying to be attached to their family. They don't care about their family. Let me be very honest. They only bless Sumata so that they can be born through her. And that is just it's a great blessing to give birth to a great supreme master like him. And these parents don't understand that. They get attached saying, oh, I have given him the birth. No, on the contrary, the great master, the divine being, has done a favor to you by blessing you to be born through you. And you don't understand that greatness. See, everybody is part of Vasudev Kutumbam. This entire universe is his family. He doesn't have this only the family where he manifests. This is the truth you need to understand. Every master, every guru, a real guru considers this entire universe as their own family. It's part, they're all, everyone is part of Vasudev Kutumbam. Kutumbam means family. You're the family of Lord Sri Krishna. As he said that the Vairagya Stri, Yoga Stri would be his life's companion. He came to be known as Sri Vallabha, Sripada Sri Vallabha. Sripad further said, my mission is to go out into the world to give initiation to and guide the sadhus. Did you see that? They are here to give the spiritual wheel. They are here to initiate as many people, or as many as those who want to evolve on the path of knowing about God, the truth alone, not wanting material worldly desires. So he said, my purpose is to go and initiate the sadhus, those spiritual aspirants. Saying thus, he sought permission from his parents to take to sannyasa and leave the home. But it was too much for the parents to give their consent. See, this comes as an obstacle with every great master, with every great guru, everybody, even Lord Shankaracharya. Adi Shankaracharya also had to face this. His mother, that is Lord Adi Shankaracharya's mother, was not willing to let go of him. When Adi Shankaracharya was 8 years old, he said, I want to now leave and go on my path. But his mother was so obsessed. She said, no, I can't let you go. And so Adi Shankaracharya created a delusion. He just put a maya in front of as though he's getting drowned. When he went to have bath, he showed his mother that he's getting drowned. The waves of the sea is pulling him away. And that time he said, if you promise to let me go, then I will be rescued from here. I will be able to be saved, And then his mother had to budge and say, okay, I will let you go and let you go on your path of becoming the sannyasa, whatever that he wants to do. And then he removed the delusion. So the great gurus, the great divine beings have to use different methods so that the family doesn't bound them. Like my Krishna Guruji, also, though living in this world, he said, I am the master of everybody. Everybody is my family. To him, we are all his family. So he was very clear in becoming detached from everybody. He manifested into a body, into a family. He did his duty as that body was required to do. But he was not attached to anything. He was completely detached. He gave up. He renounced. Yet he did his duty, whatever that is required of. And today his purpose is only this, to put the aspirants, the spiritual aspirants on the path, to teach about bhakti, love and devotion, to talk about how to live a righteous life, how not to create karma, how to overcome your karma and evolve on the path alone. And most important, to guide those disciples so that they can also carry forward his teaching and let his legacy carry forward. That is the most important thing. He's come to establish dharma. He's come to empower us in God realization. That is all his purpose is. So nobody can nobody can bind them. Similar is my case. The stand that, of course, this whole aspect of marriage comes in your life. There was a point in my own life when I wanted to get married. This way much before I came into spiritual world. I met my Guruji. Before that, I was also an ordinary human being, did not understand who I was, and I was seeking something. And that something was, I want to get married. But who do I want to get married was a very interesting question. I thought I wanted to get married to some human being. But in my mind, I'm seeking the divine Lord Almighty, Lord Shri Krishna himself. So how can I find that Lord in a human being? No, I was never going to find. So it was a disconnect, and there was a pressure from the society, family, relatives, everybody saying you have to get married, you have to get married. But when the day arrived, when I met my Guruji, rather my Guruji found me. When he found me and I did my studies with him, I started on my journey. When he did Bhagavad Gita, I don't even know what transformed in me. I understood that I am only seeking Lord Shri Krishna. He is my husband. I am not interested in getting married to any human being in the physical world. No, I am seeking that God Almighty. And when this truth dawned on me, when I understood, when I realized it, I made a very clear decision that I don't want to get married. But you know what? It's the world which will pressure you. Those are maya, those are delusions. But that is what you have to overcome in going on your path of spirituality, because those are the obstacles that will come. And then what happens? The choice is in your hands, whether you want to take that or not. So in my case, I made the decision that I don't want to get married. And I walked the path with my Guruji. I wanted to evolve on the path of spirituality. So these kind of tough tests comes. And then the whole world is going to call you names. They're going to call names to your Guruji. Everybody, they're going to say a lot of things. Why? Because you're not following the normal worldly diktats, the way the world prescribes. And please remember, even today my Krishna Guruji will say, you need to completely get detached from everything. You have to be in the state of detachment. Just work as a nid. Just do everything in a detached state. Don't get attached to anything. So this is the next stage we have to overcome. The complete detachment to everything has to come about. It could be whether it is this body, to this body's family, or anyone, even the job. It could be just I'm wearing this jewelry. An attachment to this jewelry also is a misery. Everything is a misery. So you have to overcome. You have to become detached to everything. So renunciation. Renunciation means nothing but you will renunciate and become detached. You're not going after your desires. Your sole purpose is to attain your spiritual weal alone. So this is the decision that I took. And since then, there is no looking back. Doesn't mean I'm not living in this material world. Of course, I go to work. I am doing every other thing that is required of this body to be done. But evolving on the path of spiritual, my spiritual goal is the most important to me, because that is what will redeem me from the material worldly existence. Like how Lord Shri Krishna lived, he performed all his duties to the highest of his ability. I mean, he's the ultimate. He's an epitome of perfection. We can't even compare him. So, but I aspire to live his way of life. That is the path I am on today. And I'm very grateful to my Krishna Guruji who showed me this path. See, my Guruji is always going to give you choices. He gave me the choice. I also went to him. I said, Guruji, he asked me, what is that you want? I gave him very innocently. I told him, I want to get married. I want to have a great job. I want to, achieve the highest in my professional world. I also said very innocently my desires that I had. And then he said, describe what kind of husband do you want? It was a very funny conversation. And then I was describing every attribute of what or the qualities I want in my husband. And that time he said, oh, you want to marry Lord Shri Krishna. That was my eureka moment. Oh my God. And then everything that was happening in my life came and stood in front of me. So every temple that I visited, I was given a message. Because when I was worshipping, I was seeking that I want to marry Lord Shri Krishna. But the signs were given to me. I could not see what it meant. I didn't understand. But at that moment, when the words came from my Guruji's mouth, that everything came literally, it stood in front of me. I exactly knew at that moment what those signs meant. And I got my answer. And since then, there is no looking back. What you find in life is the contentment that comes in as you evolve. When you are with your Guru, you start becoming desireless. Your desires will come down. They will go away. They will just leave. And then you will become a perfect renunciate. Renunciation is what you have to achieve. Renunciation doesn't mean you have to become sannyasi. Renunciation means you have to become a desireless being. You are not going to get attached to anything in the material world, yet you will do all your duties to the T. Even today, my Guruji, his sole purpose is to teach, and he is doing everything so perfectly. He is a master of all subjects. You know, you can't even compare his ability to, you take any subject, he's like master of it. And we will not even have that surface level knowledge. Why? Because he puts his heart and soul into learning that. Even though he knows everything, he doesn't have to learn or do anything. You know why he does? So that he can set an example for us, so we can follow, and tomorrow we can set an example so that the world could follow. So like that, he's only, developing people who can carry forward the teaching, who can set an example in this world, and his legacy continues. That is the purpose why these great masters manifest time and again, so that the dharma is not gone off the track, or it's not gone astray. So Sripadas further said, my mission is to go out into the world to give initiation to and guide the sadhus. Saying thus, he sought permission from his parents to take to sannyasa and leave the home. But it was too much for the parents to give their consent. How could they forego such a son? The situation was all the more poignant because among the other two children they had, one was dumb and deaf, and the other was blind. And both were invalids and mentally retarded. If Sripada Sri Vallabha forsook them, who would look after them in their old age? This is another thing these parents have, right? They feel that when they are giving birth to the children, they believe that it is the children's duty to take care of the parents, and they are only worrying about their old age. So this is another very interesting concept we have. Yes, your children are there to take care of you, but one thing my Krishna Guruji has always taught is we have to become independent. We are not here to dependent on our children. See, we are only a vehicle through whom these children are, whoever they are, whoever your children are, they are being born through you. But doesn't mean you have right over them, or doesn't mean you own them. And this is another concept which is misunderstood in this world. You know what my Guruji teaches? He says everybody is God's child. Each one belongs to the Lord himself. So he is the father of everyone. He's the mother of everyone. He is the karta dharta of everybody. He knows everybody's well-being. Just because you're being born to somebody doesn't become that they are only your parents. So this is the misconception that we have in our life. So my Guruji says, let the Lord do what he wants to. He knows how to take care of his children. Who do you think you are to take care of your parents or your children, your wife? Why are you thinking that you are responsible? The day you take ownership of them, then the karma comes to you. But when you say Krishna Arpan and then say, Lord, you do what is right for them, then no karma comes to you. So don't think that you are responsible for your parents, for anybody else in this world. You are not. The Lord is responsible, and he makes provisions for everyone. He knows your past, your present, and your future too. He knows what is required for you. So he makes all the necessary arrangements. So why bother? So this is the truth about it. So don't think that, oh, my children have to take care of us in our old age. Don't have this. Live God-pleasing life. Know that. Have the absolute faith in the divine that he's taking care of you. How he takes care of you is none of your business. And it's a very nice story. I think this is a part of some. I read it in one of the stories from the Buddhism. It's a parable, sort of. In that, there's this old, very young monk. He's never been out in the world. So first time he goes on, asking for bhiksha. Bhikshu. He's a bhikshu. He's going to take alms. So he goes to one house and knocks the door. So this young girl of 14 or 16 years old, she comes out, and he looks at her very strangely. And then the girl's mother comes out to offer him some bhiksha. At that time, the monk asks her, does your daughter have some disease? She seems to have some, I don't know what exactly the word he uses. I'm very sorry. But he says, he looks at her breasts, right? And then says she has some bites or something, like, he thinks it's some kind of a disease that she's got. So the mother says, see, the God has made provision. He says that God is, when the child is being born, the breasts are used to feed the child. So God has made this provision for the baby to be fed. At that, the monk says, oh my God, In that case, why am I even trying to say that come and beg, when the God has done such a, he has programmed for everything to be taken care in such a beautiful manner? Why am I coming and begging? So my Lord will take care of me. That is what he says, and then he walks out from that place. See, this is what you need to understand. The moral of this story is to say that the God will take care of you. Why are you worried? Where is the money going to come from? Where is the food going to come from? Where am I going to get this clothes from? What will happen to my job? Why are you worried? Everything will happen perfectly at the right time. You just have to do what you have to do. Don't bother about how it is going to come from, where it is going to come from. It's never in your hands. The divine Lord knows at his appointed timing, at the God's perfect timing, things will happen. All you need to have is that absolute faith in the God, in the divine Lord Almighty, and then your life will become magic. And then you will only sail through it. You will sleepwalk it. This is the truth. So coming back, what would be the plight of the family? That was the anxiety and anguish of the parents. This is a very normal way to think about by our material worldly people. Sripada understood their worry and anxiety. He called his brothers near him, cast a divine and a benevolent glance at them with overflowing love, and what a wonder! Instantly, their physical and mental disabilities disappeared. They became perfectly normal and also gained instantaneously the knowledge of all the Vedas and scripture. All were overwhelmed with joy. Sripada then blessed all of them, saying that they would have a healthy and prosperous life. He enjoined on his brothers to serve the parents with love and devotion and assured them all liberation in that birth itself. Sripada Sri Vallabha then decided to set out on his mission. He bade goodbye to his parents. To his mother, he said, "Mother, don't worry. He said to his mother, don't be sorry that I am leaving you now. I have got a divine mission to fulfill." What is it? A divine mission. See, every manifestation, every purpose of this incarnation only for a divine purpose. Even the birth of this human body is for a divine purpose. Till you don't serve the purpose, then there is no point in living this human existence. And that is why we say, when you meet the Guru shows you, one is what is your dharma and what is your swadharma. Swadharma is the purpose of your existence, the purpose of being born, the divine mission. Why are you here? You're here to serve the purpose of the God. And that will come to you when you evolve on that path, and your Guru will guide you through that path. I have to redeem the world from the ignorance it is steeped in. I have taken this birth as your son only to redeem humanity. See, it's very, very important. I have to instill into all people faith in God and reveal to them the divine glory. He consoled all his relatives with his kindly advice and loving words and went out of sight in a trice. Using his yogic power, he travelled with the speed of mind and reached the holy Varanasi, Kashi, instantly. There he remained incognito. He then went to Badrika Ashram on a pilgrimage, worshipped the deity there, and then went to the south. He arrived at Gokarna Mahabaleshwar. Gokarna is a hallowed place. It is the seat of Mahabaleshwar Shivalinga. Sripada Sri Vallabha stayed there for 3 years and with his penance made it even holier place. Absolutely. Wherever the divine masters, the great gurus, the great divine beings, visit, that place becomes holy. The divinity over there is established further. They remove all the sins and ensure the divinity is very strongly established there. So whoever comes to worship, then they can experience that power of the divinity over there. So it is not Ganga it is not Ganga who purifies the sins of this people. It is when the great gurus, the great divine beings dip their holy feet in the Ganga is when she is purified. This is the truth. So please know that whenever such great divine beings visit your home, or their feet falls in your house or wherever your abode, wherever that is, please treat them with absolute reverence. Give them everything that is possible. Serve them with loving devotion and faith. You will be blessed. It is very rare to, get such great gurus visiting your home. Or even if you have the privilege to visit them, offer them your service, offer them your love, offer them your devotion. That is what it is very important. Treat them like the God Almighty itself. Don't go by their ordinary human appearance. They are not human beings. This is the truth you need to understand. Don't go by the body they have donned, the garb that they are wearing. That body is not them. They are ever unmanifest. They're just, donned that body, and that body of theirs, that the physical body which they are using to, to serve the purpose, that body is only an illusion. That's a delusion. That's the Maya. So it looks very ordinary, but don't go by that. Have that utmost faith. You will get their grace, and, seek for your spiritual weal alone. That is what they will be able to grant you. Don't go with your material worldly desires. It has no value. When you have such great beings coming to you, please ask for your spiritual weal. That is the highest thing that you can ever ask. So with this, we end. Thus ends the 5th chapter of Sri Guru Charitra, describing the reincarnation of Lord Dattatreya as Sripada Sri Vallabha. So please remember, and most important, you need to understand, Lord Dattatreya is an eternal being. So he keeps manifesting. He is never leaving. Even today, when you visit the holy place of whether it's Gangapur or the Peethapuram, you will experience him. But you need to have the faith. As is your faith, so are your experiences. So you can experience Lord Dattatreya wherever you want. Please know, he's an avaduta. He's always roaming. Huh? He's very beautiful. He's so divine. He's so compassionate. It's just like talking about him. I just can say there are no words to describe him. It's very difficult to adequately describe his greatness, because the words cannot, no Shrutis, no Shastras can ever describe this great being. Just his presence will melt you. You will feel, this entire world is just futile. You will feel this material world existence is waste. And that is what you will feel in his presence. Seek that grace, experience him, seek that spiritual weal, So he's the only one who can grant, to help you overcome your spiritual ignorance. Ask for that alone. Don't get attached in the material worldly desires, sensual pleasures, and whatnot. Be good. Be your good self. This is my Guruji's mantra. The one thing that he'll teach all of us, and especially me as well, he'll say, be your good self. Be compassionate, be loving. You need to be very kind. Let the world be what they want. When you live as a role model following all this, your love and goodness will melt. It'll spread that love. It'll spread that harmony. So we are here to do good alone. We are not here to, fight. We're not here to say mean things or bad things. Let your words, every word that comes from your mouth, be very sweet as nectar alone. Let all the good words come from your mouth. This is what you have to pray. So with this, I end this chapter. Thank you for joining Sri Guru Charitra Parayan. I would like to tell you that I am not available this rest of the week. We will continue Guru Charitra back again from next Monday onwards. I have certain work to be done, so I'm going to be taking the time off. So thank you for your understanding. Once again, wishing you all a very happy Shankranti in advance. Hope you enjoy the beautiful festival with your family and loved ones. Om Shri Mahaganapate Namaha. Om Shri Gurudev Datta. Om Shri Sachidananda Sadguru Sainath Maharaj Ki Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Digambara Digambara Shripad Vallabha Digambara. Om Shri Krishna Gurunathanataya Shri Guruve Namaha. Om Devi Durgaya Namaha. Om Shri Krishnarpanam Namastu. Krishnam Vande Jagat Guru.